Let's talk about furries. Yesterday I heard that at least one of our schools in our town has in one of the unisex bathrooms, a litter box for the kids that identify as cats. I will do some more investigation on that. I know it's going on nationwide. I know it is. It's part of the agenda that's being pushed. I don't even want to understand it, but I think that people need to be aware of it.
I've heard that there are Furbies in the Camden school and there are litter boxes in the girls' bathroom. Has anyone actually seen them?
Camden has it too.
Kids are coming in dressed up as cats with collars and leashes on and ears, and supposed to have litter boxes in the restrooms.
As someone who was a freshman in high school when Columbine happened and am a teacher now, let's clarify this whole mess. So yes, at Columbine they do keep a small amount of kitty litter in like these go boxes for emergency lockdown situations in case there's blood or perhaps vomit to clean up. This whole concept has dual purposes. It's a GOP conspiracy theory drummed up to, one, distract from actual gun control so that we don't have to talk about real issues that are affecting classrooms, right? And the primary one is that it is to further delegitimize trans, non-binary, and gender variant and gender non-conforming students.
You hear that? The whole right-wing narrative about kids in schools having kitty litter so that they can pee like cats? It's totally false. The reality is horrifying. Because yes, there is apparently kitty litter in classrooms, but not so kids can pretend to be animals. It's part of survival buckets full of stuff like this so they can survive during lockdowns that happen as a result of school shootings, which is something those same right-wing nut jobs let happen because they're so obsessed with guns.
So it turns out people really don't know why we have these buckets in the classroom. Because of school shootings, you guys, right? And I hate to just say it bluntly like that, but when I first started teaching, we didn't have these buckets in the classroom, but now every classroom has a bucket like this in there because we go into lockdown and we're locked in our classrooms for extended periods of times while the situation is dealt with. And inside this bucket is a variety of things that we would need to survive for an extended period of time in the classroom. It's a survival kit, you guys. Now these people on TikTok complaining about the bucket, how many of them do you think go to work every day and have to worry about maybe pooping in a bucket?
Listen, I'm always worried about pooping in a bucket. I used to have a lot of irrational fears. Been with me for years. There's no good reason. Other fears like this, I'm afraid I'll have to pee upside down, or I'll just start burping out my back. I don't know even the mechanics of that, but what if? But I'm a grown weirdo. These are kids in schools. They're scared of getting murdered, but the right wing in America has found a way to distract parents from real scary things and instead make them afraid of absolute fictional nonsense. And it's called the Boomer Rumor Mill, or for short, the Boomer Mill. There's all sorts of things floating around in the Boomer Mill. Critical race theory, trans and the kids, Disney Satanists, Hillary drinks child blood, the Boomer Mill. But occasionally something like this comes up.
Yesterday I heard that at least one of our schools has a litter box for the kids that identify as cats.
It sounds cool, it sounds scary, and so they spread the rumor. Then the news picks it up. Well, maybe not news, but maybe some channel that looks like the news because they can generate lower thirds as they're just trying to sell you Mike Huckabee and Donald Trump merchandise. But hey, here comes Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's see her jump into the Boomer Mill.
There's a school in Texas that someone identified, you ready for this, for a cat, and they made them put out a litter box. I thought it was something from The Onion. Absolutely true.
Wow. No, they're embracing lies. No, the school and school resources and the other students and teachers should not have to be put through that because it's a lie.
No, that was a lie. You did the lie. That's the lie that guy, that human Muppet told you was a lie, and you just seamlessly folded it into the Boomer Mill because it supported your horrible agenda. But she's not the only politician.
It's called something called furries. If you don't know what furries are, it's where school children dress up as animals, cats or dogs.
False. Sometimes it's foxes and lions and wolves, but also this is all made up. It's because of school shootings.
And now schools are wanting to put litter boxes in the schools for these children to use. How is this sanitary?
Cats are very clean. But then an actual journalist does the tiniest bit of research and finds out it's all full of crap. Half the time, the politicians double down.
The school has come out and said that that's completely false.
I'm not backing down, okay?
You got the wrong guy. Just because they say it, they need to prove it. Prove it. I got parents and kids telling me they need to prove it to us. I don't need to prove it to them.
How do you propose they do that, buddy? To prove that kids aren't pooping in kitty litter. I guess the only way they could do that is to film everywhere that kids poop. Love to see that campaign ad, Don. Don Baldick. I will not rest until I've filmed every child poop. I'm Don Baldick, and I approve this message of watching children take because the Republicans are the party of God. And while all this is going on, while the truth is still trying to get its shoes on, the lie has traveled all the way around the world and made its pilgrimage to the mecca of the boomer mill, also known as the Joe Rogan Experience.
My friend, his wife, is a school teacher. And she works at a school that had to install a litter box in the girls' room because there is a girl who's a furry who identifies as an animal, and her mother badgered the school until they agreed to put a litter box in one of the stalls.
Just the 12-year-old schoolgirl glee with which this guy, this alpha dog UFC bruh, is telling Tulsi Gabbard, by the way. A rumor.
My friend, his wife, is a school teacher.
It's actually perfect, right? Because all these adults, all these politicians, all these leaders, all these people who are supposed to act like grown-ups are actually acting like little children, believing anything that anyone has told them. And meanwhile, the kids have to go to school in that place that you're lying about and deal with a very harsh reality, which is that there's a bucket for them to in while they're hiding from a murderer who's essentially been armed by the same people who made up that heinous lie that they're perverts who like to dress up like dogs. And yes, they are guilty because assault weapons used to be illegal and it was a bipartisan vote to outlaw them after Columbine. And while they were illegal, gun massacres fell by over a third. And after they let it expire, they rose 183%. But cool rumor, dude. Really cool rumor. Congrats, you got it on the Joe Rogan Experience. Even though you got it wrong. Did you notice that woman said Furbies?
I've heard that there are Furbies.
Ugh, I bet she's a mom. Responsible for people. Anyways, that's it. Hey, thanks for making it to the end. Not everyone does. There's nothing here. Just me.